I don't trust them, but I do have them winning this game over BYU. I mean, I know BYU upset Wisconsin, but is anyone really surprised the Badgers flamed out again in the March Madness
Yeah.
tourney? So
Welcome back, Borderline Sports Podcast, episode 13. Got me, host KB, co-host TD here. Just today, kind of going to recap March Madness, what we saw in the first two rounds, and just going into the Sweet 16. To kick it off, dude. Get right into it. I guess what stuck out to you, and was there any surprises so far in the tournament for you?
yeah, I think main thing that stuck out to me, honestly, was perhaps the lack of upsets this year. Things kind of went according to seeding and according to plan, I would say. So nothing too crazy happened. We did have a couple upsets in the first round, such as Colorado over Memphis, McNeese over Clemson, some of those 12 over 5 seeds, which, usually do hit. Also Drake over Mizzou, another one. But outside of that, things kind of went accordingly to plan, which is not great for our bracket here that we created. So we hope you guys did not go ahead and follow our the bracket that we created with you guys last week because you will be likely last in your current group. But yeah, I don't know. What stuck out to you? What did you see?
Yeah, hopefully nobody followed the bracket. TD here got a little ahead of himself with some of his picks he made. So
Oh yeah.
um, let's just get that out of the way. I guess, yeah, I mean, you hit on it. It was a couple 12s over five, but outside of that, not much. I guess the round of 32, though, Arkansas did take down St. John's. So good for them. Calipari, I don't know, beat Bill Self round one with Kansas, beat Patino round two there. So, the old man is getting it done wherever he goes. And it's crazy to me that he's 65, looks like he's 50, and then Rick Pitino is like 71 and looks like he's fucking 94. So just
That
I
is
don't know. I
crazy.
saw that. I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, I mean that's kind of it. It's, I like I said, if you're leading your bracket this year, you're probably an AI NPC bot that just picked the ones one, two, three, and four. Um, but if you picked Arkansas to beat St. John's, kudos. You actually deserve it. Otherwise, yeah, I'm sticking to your borderline NPC. Anyways, we're getting into the round of 16, Sweet 16. So first game Thursday, BYU Bama. I think this game is just gonna be 3-point fest, basically. I mean, both teams, that's their game plan. Um, Kind of like the over in this, but last I saw was at like 176. So, I mean, you're looking at what is that, 90 to 90 game basically, to get to 180. So, I don't know if that's what's like optimal, but BYU Wisconsin was 91-89. So, um, never know. What do you think?
Yeah. I think and excuse my tone here. I'm recovering from a cold, but I think, in this game, I still don't trust Alabama. Or Arizona, yeah. But no, yeah, Alabama. I don't trust them, but I do have them winning this game over BYU. I mean, I know BYU upset Wisconsin, but is anyone really surprised the Badgers flamed out again in the March Madness
Yeah.
tourney? So
Yeah.
they
So I
seem to have done the same thing over the last how many years, but
6.
they haven't been relevant in a while. But yeah, no, I don't really have anything, nothing special about this game. I do expect Alabama to win, probably close game, but um, yeah.
So all year
Anyways.
I thought Bama was the best team in the nation, and kind of sucks because nobody really knew what Grant Nelson was going to do. Uh, second best player by far, the best big man, stretch the floor. But it looks like he's fairly healthy. So, I wouldn't. I think this is a national championship contending team. Obviously, they have Duke still in their region, but um, like this Bama team is. They were just in the Final Four last year. They're returned basically all their players. They added young blood, a couple other decent players. So I think honestly, I don't know. I feel like them getting the 2 seed is it sucks because they were all year deserving of a 1, but kind of flamed out at the end. Anyways, next one, Maryland, Florida. I mean, both took Florida to be our national champions, and I mean Maryland didn't show much against Colorado State. I mean, it's not a great team. I'd argue their coach is borderline terrible. Going to Minnesota now. So
Whoa, man, we'll get into that a little bit later here, but no, no disrespect on my boy Nico.
so they beat a pretty poor coach, by 1 on a arguable
It's a
travel.
travel.
So
It was a travel.
so I think Florida wins this pretty handily. This line has already moved. I saw it at 5.5 yesterday. It's at 6.5 now. Probably gonna keep rising. Should be about 8 in my opinion. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, no, like I said, or like KB mentioned, we both took the Gators to win in our brackets, so or at least in one of ours. So I expect the Gators to this not to be nearly as close of a game as it was against UConn. I mean, um, I think that UConn game, just going back to that, UConn just played tough, they played fearless. They were able to kind of, well, honestly, I'd say the Gators more so punched themselves in the foot, some bad passing turnovers, and just couldn't shoot their free throws, honestly. But were able to stick around, and come out with the win at the end of the game. But that was the game of the tournament, in my opinion, so far. But just coming back to this, I do expect the Gators to handle Maryland here. I am a little nervous about one other team in the tournament um,
And
for the Gators in the future, but
I mean too, I think UConn, they weren't great this year, but I mean, they won the last 2 years. They're a tough team. They're tall. Like they just didn't really get it done all season. They kind of, they had that slump at the beginning. But outside of that, like, I mean, they're not a bad team. I mean, some of these 8, 9 seeds are like some of the tougher teams, for being honest here, just in terms of they might have the talent, they just didn't really play up to it. And all it takes is kind of getting hot at that point. So it's like I almost think Maryland's a lesser team than UConn, like at the moment. So
yeah, that's kind of what I was kind of getting at too. And I mean, just coming off two championships as well. I mean, it's obvious that UConn has nothing to lose in this scenario, and they could, dance their way all the way back to a Final Four. Fortunately, they weren't able to do that, which I'm happy about. No more Dan Hurley screaming at everybody on his team and his assistant coaches, but
and I mean they really did win this game by 5. They had that completely uncontested 3 at the end to cut to 2, but I mean
yeah, no,
there
that
was I don't know. I feel like that game was kind of just whatever game. But on to the next Thursday, we got Duke and Arizona. I know you think Arizona are frauds. However, I think Caleb Love has been Duke's demise like the last 4 years, maybe even 6, however long he's been in college. I don't know, maybe 7 even. So I think he's gonna come out and absolutely ball out and make it tough on Duke. But at the end of the day, Duke's 8 deep, whereas Arizona's like 3 deep. So it's like, what are you gonna do? Anything to add?
yeah, 9.5. That's quite the spread there to open it up. But
Yeah, I could see Caleb Love. I mean, he might be Arizona's only hope, in my opinion, to win this game is if somehow he has one of those games that he has had against Duke in the past, where he just destroyed their will to live and their will to win. But man, Duke is so nasty, bro. Like I really feel like after watching them, I'm nervous about the Gators in a potential national championship matchup there. Um, they just seem like they're clicking on all cylinders. I mean, as long as nothing happens to Cooper Flag, this is a scary, scary Blue Devils team. And I fully expect them to win this game. I don't know. I guess barring a miracle upset by Arizona, who usually does nothing in the tournament, which is why we took Akron in
I
our
don't think
bracket.
I don't think it's a miracle if they lose. I think
Not a miracle,
it's
no, but
it's it's doable. It's like just got to catch Duke on a little bit of an off day. I mean, a couple players getting foul trouble at the beginning, like all teams have this NCAA tournament. It's been refereed so poorly. Um,
I
I
think
get
going into that last game, though, Duke was 27 and well, yeah, I mean they're on the season 33 and 3, but yeah, then their last going into the game against Baylor, they've won 27 of their last 28 games, now 28 of their last 29. So it's pretty crazy, honestly. But that's what you'd expect from a one seed like that, I
yeah.
guess.
Last
I'd be,
game.
s-
Oh,
yeah, keep going.
last game Thursday, Arkansas and Texas Tech. I think this is probably the most intriguing game on Thursday, just because I don't know what you're gonna get with Arkansas or Texas Tech, right? Like Texas Tech first round, I think shot and made the most threes, and then against Drake, they like completely changed their team and dominated in the paint. So, um, just never know what you're gonna get with them. And Arkansas is a team that likes to run, get out. So it's just again, I mean, I think it's, it's just beating a dead horse, but it's really who's in foul trouble? Can you play with your five the whole time? That type of thing. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I wasn't able to watch any of the Texas Tech games before this, so not super familiar with their squad. I did, however, watch Arkansas take down St. John's, which was a very impressive win. I mean, St. John's shot 28% from field goal and 9% from three in that game, which is crazy. I don't know if they're just not a good three-point shooting team.
They're
I don't
not,
really think
no.
that, yeah, they're not really, but um, yeah, I mean, who knows? I kind of like the Razorbacks here. Just I always liked Calipari, even, for Kentucky. Um, but now he's starting to, he's been getting shit on for a while about not being able to do anything with Kentucky. With the Wildcats, his last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. I don't think they'd made it to a Sweet 16 or something like that. And now he's doing it with Arkansas. And so, I don't know. I could see this one going down. Like I said, not super familiar with Texas Tech's game. So, yeah, I don't have too much to share on there, but should be an exciting one.
And that wraps up Thursday. On to Friday, Ole Miss, Michigan State. I think Ole Miss is kind of lucky to be at this point. Um, Beat North Carolina and then had a limping Iowa State team. I mean, they did take care of business, but I just don't think they're better than Michigan State. And I think Michigan State covers 3.5 here. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you were the one that kind of got me on the Michigan State train. I don't know if you kind of want to roughly cover like what was going on in that first half of that New Mexico game last week, because that was kind of brutal. They didn't really look the part for a majority of the game. Then they came back. If you watched it,
Yeah, I
or
did.
if you
Yeah.
had any.
Basically, what was going on was New Mexico wasn't missing and Michigan State wasn't making. And I mean, literally it hit halftime. I think it was tied at half, or Michigan State was down one or two, and then basically just got the lead and kind of never gave it back up again. And it never got like super hairy for them, and they didn't play well. They still won. So I guess, I don't know, back against the wall, good to win. It makes it more interesting for, say, the Elite Eight when they got to go play in Auburn or whoever wins that between Auburn and Michigan. But I think right now, just what I saw at Ole Miss is um, they're solid. They earned getting here, but they got, like I said, a favorable draw with UNC first, and then an Iowa State team that just really hasn't been themselves the last month or so. But um,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Old Miss, I wasn't able to watch much of the Old Miss game either, unfortunately, or either of their games, even against Iowa State. I will say they are screwing up my near perfect bracket right now, sitting at a whopping 99.9% success rate
no, that's percentile, not.
or percentile, whatever.
Yeah, like I
Um,
mentioned at the beginning of the show, if you are having a good year in your bracket, you're probably an NPC.
Or you
Um,
created four brackets and one of them is just going nuts. But um,
anyways, we're done with that game. MSU covers that. Kentucky, Tennessee. This is interesting. I mean, these teams played twice throughout the year. Um, Tennessee lost at home against Kentucky and on the road to Kentucky. So Kentucky's definitely capable here. They're also a 4.5 point underdog. So I think I'm just going to take Kentucky plus the 4.5, and I don't really expect it to be a blowout either way. What do you think?
yeah, fair enough. Close game for sure. I don't really have too much to say about this. We'll see if Kentucky can get it done and get back to their winning ways
Yeah, I think
under their new regime.
Tennessee is a permanently overrated team. Like every year, it's just like in football too, honestly. They beat the teams they should beat. I mean, Tennessee lost at Florida this year 73-43. Like that is embarrassing. They lost, like I said, twice to Kentucky. Um, so I just don't see it, but I'm just gonna take the points to be safe on Kentucky's side. Um, Next game, Michigan Auburn. Auburn, I had my doubts about coming into this tournament just on how they had been playing. Lost, I think it was four of their last five, three of the last four to end the year. Um, but they kind of straightened out, looked pretty good against Creighton, who gave them fits in the first half, but at the end of the day, they, scrapped it together. And I would argue Creighton's probably better than Michigan, just to be straight up. I watched Michigan, they don't look super dominant at doing anything. Um, A&M also, like, I don't know what happened to them, but they just like fell apart completely. Had control of the game basically the whole way. They're up by 10, like with like 13, 14 minutes left. Ended up losing by 12. Like, not sure how they got to that point, but I think it was kind of a fluke, if we're being honest. I mean, UC San Diego played them tough. Like, that is not a good ball club. So, um, I don't know if Auburn covers 8.5 here, but I think this is probably the easiest game to pick here, if I'm being honest with you, between Auburn and Florida, who both these teams should handle business pretty easily.
Fair enough, not an expert, but I could see this being a close game. I don't know. I don't really have too much to say with this one. Probably Auburn wins, honestly. Michigan, they're kind of hot right now, obviously, but again, they haven't really played anyone. They barely squeaked by UC San Diego, so we'll see. We'll see here. Maybe they catch Auburn on an off day. They can make it a close one, or they're shooting lights out by some miracle. But who knows?
Last game is Purdue and Houston. My initial thoughts here are that Houston are insanely talented. I mean, they lost 4 games this year, three to ranked teams, one on the road to San Diego State. Whereas Purdue is kind of volatile and at any point they could actually dominate if Houston's not making shots. But at the same time, Houston has so much more athleticism. I think they're going to try to run. I think this has the potential to be Houston's notorious for being a low scoring team. Typically, their unders hit, but I think here, if Purdue kind of wants to make this a game, I think this one's going over. I think I'm going to take over 132.5 for that. But Houston's going to win this game, I believe. I just don't know if it's by 8.5, like the line suggests.
Same. I agree. I don't have anything to add there.
Yeah, and I don't know. We got some good matchups there. I mean, looking ahead a little bit, let's just say the favored team wins.
Yeah, we could go into, what we anticipate happening in the Elite Eight. Seems like most of the favorite teams are going to win here unless Arkansas pulls something off. But
And I mean, leads us back. It just looks like the year that all one seeds likely move on. I mean, the only one I'm kind of is Bama Duke, and it's if Bama shoots the lights out from three and Duke gets in foul trouble, or I don't know, say Cooper Flag is hurt, say, they're not playing their dominant basketball, and Alabama was literally dominant all year. They kind of had a rough stretch at the end, but I mean, they were number one in the nation for a stint there. And that's just a tough draw. Whereas, Houston's got the winner of Kentucky, Tennessee. Like, I would take that all day. Florida's got the winner of Arkansas, Texas Tech. I'm taking that all day. Um, but I expect Auburn, Michigan State to be quite a good game too, assuming the Sparty moves on. But that's just
yeah,
my
I think
my brief look ahead, I guess.
I think I have Michigan State honestly beating Auburn. In my brackets at least. Um, I kind of agree with what you say. I just think this Duke team, man, I don't know. I don't see it from Bama that they're gonna come in and beat this Duke team. I mean, they beat Mount St. Mary's by 93 to 49. I mean, that was easily the biggest
Yeah, okay.
blowout win, but
Please point them out on the map and tell me their mascot and like, dude,
I
like
don't.
that's like me going to Bama's first game where they played UNC Asheville and won 110 to 54. Like what are you trying to say like that?
I mean, I'm not trying to say anything like too. They blew out Baylor too. It's not like Baylor game was close at all. I mean, it was close for maybe 2/3 of the first half, and then it was just they busted it wide open. So
Yeah, and part of the reason that game wasn't
pause.
close was because Baylor had foul trouble to their best player. And like I said, that's at the end of the day in college basketball, 5 fouls, you get two in the first 5 minutes, you're done that whole half. You know what I mean? It's not the NBA. They don't whistle like the NBA. It's basically like if you breathe on someone on the perimeter, they're calling it. And so it's basically
There was also a point in that game where Baylor just went ice, absolutely ice cold. Man, they couldn't hit a single shot. So,
yeah,
uh,
end of the first half was brutal.
yeah, that
Also
was.
also
I thought
Tyrese
that was going to be another exciting game, like perhaps a Florida UConn, but it really was.
Also Tyrese Proctor like just played out of his ass. I think he made 7 threes or something. So I mean, when you get that production from probably your third guy after Flag and Knipple, like what you're just never gonna beat them. You know what I mean? So it it's just so hard. College basketball is literally about not going on that brutal cold streak, not giving up an insane run while you're on the cold streak, and then also just not fouling out of games. And if that happens, like Duke will win. But at the same time, Alabama, all five can shoot a three. They can run. There's a reason they score 90 some points a game. They've been doing it to everybody. So that is where I stand on that. But yeah,
Fair enough.
it's kind of just again, it's an MPC year. Like just bet the one, bet the two. Like you're probably up 5 grand on $100 bets if you just bet the favorites. So, um,
Yeah, but I mean, it does make for an exciting, it should make for a very exciting Final Four. I mean, you want the best teams in there, or at least the hottest teams in basketball to be in there, and without any crazy upsets, unless Arkansas, squeezes their way through. It should be an exciting rest of the tourney. Gonna have some great high matchups here. So,
yeah,
but yeah,
I guess last thing real quick. We got today's Wednesday, March 26th. Thursday, March 27th is baseball opening day. Super excited. Brewers lead it off against the Yankees on ESPN, nationally televised game. It's gonna be perfect because that game's gonna last about 3 hours, and then at 6 p.m. Bama BYU tip. So great day of sports tomorrow. Can't wait to probably not leave my couch for an extended period of time. But you have anything else to add?
Twins Cardinals at 3:15, you know. Let's go. Let's go Twinkies.
Name five
But
players. Name five players.
Royce Lewis, Max Kepler, um, Byron Buxton, Pablo Lopez, Pablo Lopez. Um, and I don't remember how you say his last name, but Alex Frillikov.
Yeah, you're making players up now. That's crazy.
No, dude.
AK-47.
No, not AK-47.
Anything else you want to touch on NBA wise? Anything happen in the NBA or
Yeah, Damian Lillard out for the season, blood clot in his.
indefinitely not season?
Yeah, well, blood clots usually.
That could be like 3 days, bro. Let's be honest.
Well, we saw what happened with um, one of those Thompson brothers last year, and then with Wemby this year. So,
Yeah, but
um,
Wemby's also like 7'7", so if his blood's not reaching a part of his body, it's a little different than Dame. And
yeah,
that team has nothing to play for either. So Dame will be back.
we'll see. Yeah. How do you feel? You think he's gonna be back?
Yeah, at some point. I mean, he doesn't have to be back till literally game one of the playoffs. Like, take your time, buddy.
Wow, I didn't even say Carlos Correa in my twin stuff.
I can't believe you left out
And
Joe
I think
Durant,
that
bro.
Alex guy's gone now, so I fumbled the bag on that.
Yeah, so you got it wrong. Could have named.
Duran is a dog,
Yeah,
actually. You're
Durant's
right.
your best player.
Mm,
He's
I
the
mean,
best. I would say,
he's a dog. He's a closer. But yeah.
yeah, but when you're
Um,
automatic at closer, you're the best player. Unless you have
yeah.
like Mike Trout or
Hopefully we
one.
just yeah. Hopefully we just figure it out here a little bit this year and actually spend some money. Um,
Yeah, I mean, you
if
play
we
in the
need to, and with injuries, the Twins just don't do anything and just ride it out with their old freaking ownership. Thank God they're gone. So,
that
um,
AL Central is fucking terrible too, dude.
I'm
Like
not the biggest baseball guy,
like
as you
the
can tell. However, I will be attending the game on April 5th.
can you vlog it for
Home
us?
opening, home opening weekend, I do believe.
Can you vlog for us?
Yeah, I'll send you a picture from Budweiser deck, man. Actually, I don't
No,
think it's called the Budweiser deck anymore.
no, I need a whole vlog. What you eat the morning of your
I'll do a 9 for 9
need POV of you waking
or
up and
nine
dipping
and
your
nine.
face in the ice bucket,
Oh my
rubbing the
God,
banana peel on your face.
dude. Yeah, I do that every morning already.
I
But
can tell it's paying
can you
dividends.
imagine? Can you imagine 9 dogs, 9 beers? We
I
should
don't think
try.
it would be that hard, honestly. It
The
would
beers
set
would be
you,
so easy. The
it would
dogs would
set
just
you,
be,
it
the
would set
beers
you,
would be too easy.
you'd get set back, what is that, probably $120 on beer and
It would be
probably,
expensive
it's probably
AF.
about $200 to do. I would have to vlog it and hopefully
Yeah.
Instagram Reels runs with it and maybe I get cut like $200 back by them over a period of 5 years because people keep coming back to watch my legendary 9 for 9. I
No,
could easily do that.
I'm sure you could.
There's nothing a
Just
glizzy. There's glizzies don't fill me up, bro. They just go down the gullet, and I'd just be at the end. I'd be dipping on in the beer like Joey
yeah,
Chestnut.
you love those throat missiles, don't you?
I'd be like Joey Chestnut, bro, just fucking dipping in.
Housing it. Freaking.
Whoa, what was that?
Yeah, that's what he does, you know.
Whoa, whoa, somebody clip it.
Pause, pause, pause.
Somebody clip that, dude. What the
So,
fuck? Somebody clip that.
oh man, dude. Yeah, no, we are excited. Baseball season's back, just adds another element to what is, what can be some slower months here after March Madness and
Still waiting on NBA playoffs, but
Yeah, nice thing about
um,
baseball is no matter what day it is, basically there's a day game too. So like if you're down so bad, you just like need to bet on something, you can always get some action.
this is when you know you have a problem, guys. This is when you absolutely know you have a problem.
No, dude.
When you can't find ping pong to bet on.
At least you have
No,
the A's versus
dude, it's like
the White Sox.
it's like Monday and you're just semi-depressed and it's like, there's a 11:35 game going on in
What's
Pittsburgh or
your what's your
something.
go-to? Is it, no um
No run first
no
inning.
no running, no run first inning or whatever the hell. Yeah.
I don't bet that shit, no.
Yeah.
I don't bet that shit. That's a fucking
All right. Well,
AI NPC bet.
oh yeah, and shout out.
Gophers, new head coach. We're excited about it. This kid doesn't have any respect for the program, but Nico Medved coming from Colorado State, missed out on the Sweet 16 by a travel, as we mentioned earlier. There's maybe a travel. I probably wouldn't have called it, but yeah, no, we need a lot more things other than just a new head coach, but this is a good start.
Oh, you're talking
He's had
about,
some
sorry, I spaced out for a second. You're talking about the team that got out coached and just looked way head over his heels in this round of 32 against Maryland and should have beat them when they were up by 8.
No,
Oh, different
actually.
guy, different.
no, I don't think he got out coached. I think you're
I think he
trim.
just got out coached.
Well, either way, it's a step up from what we had. So we're
Yeah.
excited to have him.
Next thing you
Welcome
know,
Minnesota. Welcome back to
Anthony,
Minnesota, actually.
next thing you know, Anthony Edwards will be coaching that team
The whole game.
when they get shipped out of the league, bro. We're not being able to make a 3-pointer.
Dude, he was hurt, man. He was hurt. All right. You
What?
see
Would
him
he
icing
break
his
it?
hand the whole fourth quarter?
He broke his right wrist. Like, is that why that form is?
The
Or
thumb laceration or something like that.
oh my god, dude, that's like
That can affect on your right hand. That would easily affect your shooting form.
I to be 1 for 11. Maybe stop shooting.
True. True. Yeah,
But
no comment. Wolves, get your head out of your asses here a little bit. Let's go get that 6th seed. It's literally for the taking right now.
come on, T Pups.
All right.
All right, good
Sounds good.
episode. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for watching. If you do watch, we appreciate it. Leave a comment. Let's get this
Leave a
algorithm.
comment.
Let's get this algorithm riled up a little bit. And
Comment,
let
like, subscribe, talk
well,
shit. We don't care.
yeah, tell TD here that you gotta trust Arizona in the round of 64 against Akron Zips. So, all right,
Peace.
peace.